Hello and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos, a D&D podcast set in the world of Fierlor. It is November as we release this episode, specifically the 15th. Our usual plugs are, if you want to help support the podcast, give us a like, give us a share. Those kinds of things help. Give us a subscription if you're on a platform that's a thing. Same with reviews. If you want to go that step further, we have a Redbubble, we have a Patreon. If you want game notes, merch, what have you. Does anyone else have anything quickly before we jump into the proceedings? All good. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into another episode of Wyverns and Weirdos. So, where we last left off, the party was reeling after the capture of Caius and the death of Bertie and subsequent resurrection. Bertie is back. He is technically at full health, but he's somewhat exhausted by the resurrection process. The party then managed to sneak their way back to the headquarters of the Concord, where they were able to kind of regroup to an extent, do a bit of planning, and have a bit of a talk, culminating in a discussion between Anya and one of the Concord's higher-ups on the rooftop, offering basically full access to the command structure of the Concord and any resources they have in order to help the party gain access to information and exploit any potential weaknesses that they can discover. And that was, as we said, the start of the intrigue against the Wizards of the Ruins. So, how this is going to work is, for the most part, we'll RP as normal. But you do have the option, once every day, to take a domain action. Who takes that domain action doesn't matter. You can take it, but you don't have to each day. You have a number, I believe it is 8 total domain actions you can take between now and the end of the campaign. Each of those domain actions can be used to do basically one of 4 things. You can either bolster your own resources or defenses, try to undermine the enemy's defenses, do something in general with one of your domain skills. So that is diplomacy, espionage, law, or operations. So that might be researching something, trying to get some other nearby organization or the general populace on side, what have you. Start a spy operation to try to find something out under someone's nose. And the 4th thing that you can do is use one of your powers or features on your domain, your organization sheet, which you all have access to. So, you all wake up after a night of rest. Bertie, you're a bit better. You're still not fully back fighting fit, but as you've had a long rest, your penalty for the resurrection sickness basically goes from 4 to 3.
Awesome. Fun times.
Is there anything else folks want to do in this morning?
I do want to note that Anya did not wake up, for she did not go to sleep.
Okay.
So she does have a level of exhaustion today.
Yep. And you don't regain any spell slots that you may have spent?
Yeah, which is fine. And she... sorry, my mind just went entirely blank then. Yeah, so she hasn't slept for the night, and she had spent the night keeping an ear out and listening for anything suspicious, be it both on the horizons and watching as well, on the horizons as well as within the organisation from her position on the roof. So she may have moved a couple of different times to hear from different vantage points throughout the night, just to see if there were any quiet secret conversations. Do you want me to roll something? To see if she discovered anything?
Yeah, roll me a perception check. Maybe if it's particularly high, you might get something juicy.
I mean, it is Anya, so...
That's why I said particularly high.
For some reason, my mouse decided it didn't want to play, so this might take a little bit longer than it would otherwise. Cool. Alrighty. Okay. Would I roll this? What's the first level of exhaustion?
I believe it is... There's my...
Is it disadvantage on skill checks?
I believe it is skill checks. I think...
Yep.
So... So ability checks. So your attacks and saving throws are still fine, but your ability checks, are at that penalty.
The lower was a 27.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
You hear whispers of some sort of bolstering effort on the part of the wizards. Like that they are seemingly attempting to bolster their resources.
Cool. As soon as the usual time would be that Neumann would wake up, which I know will not be the case this morning given the activities of the previous night. She's going to jump down from the roof, go inside and get a mug like the tavern mugs, like the pitcher, I guess,
like a tankard?
of coffee. A tankard, that's the word I'm thinking of coffee and a plate full of food. Actually, she's going to get 2 tankards of coffee, 2 plates full of food.
Okay.
And the first one, she's going to very quietly, and I'm happy to roll a stealth for this as well, place it in Bertie's room. I don't know whether Bertie would be awake or not, or whether Ross would be, as I believe Ross was staying in there the night. Depends on what time Neumann usually wakes up, honestly. But would you like me to roll a stealth for that?
What are the passives? Can you possibly fail?
So the minimum she can roll on a stealth is a 27.
Yet neither of them can beat that with a passive.
Cool.
So
Neumann
Neumann comes close. Neumann comes close, but still misses it by 1.
She sneaks it into their room and scribbles a quick note, just signing it A. And then she, with the other plate of food and pitcher of coffee, tankard of coffee, she goes to Neumann's room and she knocks quietly on the door.
Quick question. Was Sam ever given his key?
I think we can assume that he would have been.
Because if not, he would have been locked out.
Sam's just sleeping on the floor.
At Neumann's door.
It's easy enough to assume that he would have been at some point.
Yeah, sure.
It's not like
Neumann...
he couldn't have gotten the spare key from the staff.
Yeah.
You know?
Neumann will open the door. And he's looking pretty scruffy. But is he feeling scruffy, Darby? That's the real question.
Just probably a con save for your night of drinking.
Sure. 11.
11. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, you're not bright and chipper necessarily, but yeah.
So what would usually be
not ill or hungover either.
What would usually be a yeah, lol, is now hey, Anya.
Hi, Neumann. Can I come in?
Yeah, isn't it like nighttime though? What are you doing?
No, you'd usually be up this early. You just had a bit of a night. I thought I would, She sort of holds up the tankard and the plate. She's like, I bought breakfast.
Is there bacon? As he's like using his eyes to dissect the breakfast, looking for bits
She
of bacon.
Sort of shoves it forward and she's like, I just told them to give me whatever was going. So yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Geez, should I get used to this? I like this actually. Breakfast in bedroom. I don't mind it.
Can I come in?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, I thought you were just coming here to give me breakfast. He sits down, leaving the door open as he shoves food in his mouth and takes a skull of some... It was coffee, I believe, in the tankard.
Yeah. Anya follows him in and then she very quietly closes the door. And I think she probably takes a seat either on the end of the bed or if there's like a windowsill that she can sort of perch herself up on. If it's deep enough, she'll sit on that. She just sort of swings her legs a little bit and she's like, I have a few things I want to talk to you about. If that's okay.
Yeah? What is it?
Firstly, I don't know if you remember, I'm not sure if you had started when I mentioned it to you, but I want to commission something from Bertie.
Yeah, no, I remember this, yeah. Yeah.
I just didn't want... I hope you don't mind that I waited until today. I didn't want your... How are you holding
up? He didn't hear that because he was taking a big slurp out of his tankard, and the pressure in his head actually changed with such a big gulp, and his eardrums didn't quite receive any vibrations. Could you say that again?
How are you holding up, Neumann?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good now. Yesterday was fun. Oh, you should have seen us. You missed out.
Jake, take
Anya-
inspiration for justifying that tech issue narratively.
And that's my third inspiration. Stop. You haven't given me any opportunities to use it.
That is, you can use it whenever you want.
I know, but what? Do I use inspiration for...
Jake, just take the goddamn inspiration. You can give them to people.
Three is the max you can have now.
Okay, cool. I was just going to say, I use an inspiration to take a gulp of my coffee.
Shut up. You can give
That's
those
not
inspirations.
something you can use use inspiration for, because it's not a roll.
Anya, she frowns a bit at that, and she's like, Neumann, you lost a friend yesterday. 2 if you count Bertie. Well, what happened with Bertie?
Yes. But I am absolutely certain that Caius is alive and that we will get him. And I'm very worried about Bertie, but I don't see how me being sad in front of him is going to help them right now, and I will have a proper chat with them when the moment comes up. But I just don't see... I've had my moment. I've had time to process, and I will wait eagerly for a conversation with Bertie.
Neumann, Bertie's not here. You don't have to hide any. Look, I get it, is all I'm saying. And as worried as I am for Bertie, I'm worried for you and Ravari too.
In what sense?
Well, how long do you have?
Not too long, I guess. Busy day, especially if I'm doing a commission. But, look, I can make time. I'll just have to cut some corners, but don't tell Bertie.
We were almost half a party down. We are once again looking into the eye of the storm. Yourself and Ravari have high stakes with what we are doing, and the insurmountable amount of pressure that you both must be under, knowing that any action could be the wrong thing, not only for you, but for your entire community. I think I have good reason to be worried.
The way I see it is the situation we're in right now is not good. However, we are the closest we have ever been to making any significant change here. This is huge, and that's literally what I'm clinging on right now. That is what I'm clinging on to. Yes, any decision we make could go either way. It could end terribly, like basically what's happened the entire way so far. But now we have some time to think, plan. And my very first thing I want to do is I want to look for Caius. I want to recover. I want to rebuild. I want to regroup. And then I'm hoping that eventually we can all work together once again. But it's going to take time. There's uncertainty. And I'm not necessarily thinking about failing at the moment. I'm only thinking about what can I do differently and what should we do next. And I'll be completely honest, that is it's basically all I've been thinking about.
I know I'm not the best example of emotional maturity amongst our group. In fact, I think in a lot of ways, the way you and I deal with things are opposite. But I'm worried that if there is a moment of failure, if you can't find Caius, if we fuck up here, or if we try our hardest and do our best and even lose, I'm worried that you will lose a part of yourself, that it doesn't come back. So all I'm saying, I think it's great that you're being positive and that you're focused and that you're not trudging through and being held back by the things that could happen. I think that's wonderful. But Neumann, just don't forget that you can take breaks too.
Yeah. You know me. I like to take a good break every now and then. And I know that I can heavily rely on everyone here with us at the moment if I need to take a break. But in terms of losing a piece of me, I think I've hit rock bottom probably more times than I can count on two hands. And I reckon that if I was to lose a piece of me, it's already long gone. And this is where I'm at the moment. And if, for whatever reason, things get any lower, I've built a safety net around me. I have friends to catch me. I have friends to pull the weight. I don't think I can hit rock bottom any lower than what I've hit so far, and I know that I can be fished right back up as soon as that gets anywhere near the case.
Okay.
So while I'm not denying, I guess it's a little bit more of an acceptance, and I just process things in my own time, and if I need the help, I will happily come to you guys. I try and be as transparent as possible, so I'll be honest. Yesterday was a bit of a sad day for me, but you know, I had a chat with some people, some ethereal beings. One's right there in the stables, wink wink. And look, I'm good, and just believe me when I say I'm good. Not because I know there's a lot riding on this, but I kind of handled this in my own way, and I'm feeling really good about it at the moment. And I'm just trying to be optimistic at the moment.
Anya has like a soft sort of smile at that, and she's like, I trust you, Neumann. And if you say you're good, I know you're good. Thank you for indulging me.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you for the breakfast.
I guess if you'll indulge me a little further before I get to the job.
Yes.
I want to ask your opinion on something. And I want you to think about it. Like, properly think about it. Because I'm not asking you to make this decision for me. I'm asking because I value your opinion and because I know how important all of this is to you. I am blind, and that is not a part of me that I am ashamed of, nor is it a part of me that I think is a hindrance or something to be taken as a crutch. I know that regardless of whether I am sighted or not sighted, I can do this. However, I do not want, in any capacity, to let down you, or Bertie, or Caius, or Ross, or Rook. I am, while we are staying here, going to leave the contacts in so I can be of best use. Should, and once again, I'm just asking your opinion on this. I am not asking you to make the decision. The decision is mine and mine alone. Should I keep them in? Not forever, but just until we see your country safe again.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely up to you. It's literally in the terms and conditions that I put in the box. Did you read them at all? Or it specifically says that it is entirely not up to me whatsoever. This is a gift to you. These are now your possession. However, no refunds. Me and Bertie did a thing a while back, and I learned a lot of tricks. So I learned all the legalities and stuff like that. So
Neumann. I'm not asking you to make this decision for me. I'm asking for your opinion. I'm asking for what you think.
Well, you obviously took them off for a reason. And if that reason is because they make you feel uncomfortable, then I don't see why you should wear them unless absolutely necessary. If they, I don't know, bring back bad memories, and I'm not too familiar with what it's like to lose sight. If you're more comfortable without sight, then sure, that's completely up to you. I will never stop being awkward about it. I will never remember that. Like, I'm a visually expressive man, and if that leads to awkward situations, then so be it. As long as you're happy and comfortable, then yeah, I don't really mind what you do. And if that's how you feel, then yeah, don't wear them.
Anya, she smiles warmly at that, and her eyes aren't quite welling up, but you can tell that there's something sort of behind them that's a bit emotional. And she kind of pushes herself up off the windowsill and walks over to Neumann, and she takes both of his hands, as long as he's not currently mid-eating, and she squeezes them, and she's like, "You're a really good friend, Neumann. I don't think I tell you that enough. You are my friend, and I love you, and I appreciate you. Don't let anything happen to you like what happened to Bertie, because I will bring you back and kill you myself."
Yeah, that just doesn't make logical sense, and you know it.
You're right, I wouldn't kill you again. That would just be a waste of a diamond.
Very true. But yeah, no. Yeah, you got to be a good friend to have good friends. Treat others how you expect to be treated. All that stuff. It's,
why are you friends with me?
Because you're a valuable asset. You're a great friend. You're understanding and expressive, and you don't take shit.
Okay. No, good point.
It's very refreshing.
How about that commission, hey?
Oh yeah, no, I've got Zoot over there ready with the, and he just clicks his fingers towards Zoot in the other corner of the room, and he's been waiting there the entire time with like a notepad and a pen, waiting for this commission.
Are you able to customize the look of your commissions? Or do they have to be like store-bought?
I'll be making it from scratch, so I can make it look like however you want it to.
Perfect.
Depends what it is, though. I will be taking shortcuts, as we mentioned, but we'll see.
I want to make Bertie a cloak of Elvenkind. It's not. He wants to be a bit more subtle, but I don't necessarily think he should. So I feel this is a good compromise.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely possible. The magic side of it will literally take no time at all. And I mean literally. I can just touch a cloak and bang. But it's the cloak that I need to make myself.
Of course.
So
I will,
Bertie, what do we want Bertie to look like in this cloak?
I think I have some notes. And that's where we're leaving that scene,
Yeah.
by the way.
All right. Ross and Bertie, is there anything that the two of you are doing of the morning?
Well, I don't know what the sleeping arrangements would have been, but Ross would have just fallen asleep wherever in the room, just fully like curled up around a stolen pillow, just fully zonked out. And I preemptively rolled her con save, and it was a 17, so she is not at all hungover, which makes sense because she didn't actually drink that much. Especially not compared to old Neumann and Sam. But,
yeah, I imagine Bertie probably would have like tried to pester Ross quite a lot, like to like bring like get him more alcohol. I don't know whether Ross would have done that or not, but he would have been very like, yeah. So anyway, oh my gosh, let's yeah. Actually, that would make me feel really great. That kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
She would have done it a couple times, like, you know, but at a certain point she would have kind of cut him off and just kept coming back with like sodas and just being like, nope, that's what you're drinking. Yeah, but however she wakes up, she just kind of sits up and she's just all nonsense, like just everything's everywhere, and she just goes, Bertie.
Bertie kind of like, because like Ross is doing that, she wouldn't like notice, but he's not on the bed. He's been like, I can imagine because this rooms are like very just like nondescript, just like basic, like they wouldn't have a mirror or anything like that. No. So he's just been kind of standing in a certain space of the room, and he kind of like just turns around very suddenly when Ross talks, and he's still like just in his like trousers and his shirt now instead of like everything else. He's taking all that off. It's easier to sleep in, but both of his ears like kind of prick up, turn in the direction that Ross is, and then he kind of like turns around. He's like still looks mostly like how Bertie normally looks, but like the earrings are still those little sun symbols. And he still has little embers instead of the leaves. But he's like, oh, yeah, good morning.
Morning. How'd you shape up?
Yeah. Surprisingly fine, so that's yeah. He kind of like scurries over to Ross, and I suppose like Ross is probably gonna passive perception for this. Bertie has, and she would know this from context clues, Bertie has like a little ink, like little spot where like little thumb pad would have like pressed on one of his temple, I believe. Pink ink or something. But he kind of just scratches this and like, yeah, no, it's okay. How are you feeling?
Good. She reaches up and she kind of just thumbs at it. Didn't work, huh?
when she does that, he kind of flinches away. For the listeners, this is what Bertie used to cast. This is a sign of what Bertie's used to cast Dream before, which you can listen to in one of our bonus episodes. It's the Ross and Bertie one. No, it's not. It's the Ross, Bertie, and Sam one. But yes, and yeah, he kind of just like moves away a bit after she does that. Like, no, it didn't. Which just means he's on another plane, so that's fine. But I'm just gonna keep trying to see if that changes.
You saw him. You know he's okay.
I saw him, yeah. Yeah, so, he kind of like, starts to tear up again, and then, just kind of like, steps back and just turns away for a moment. It's like, yeah, anyway, yeah, no. Cool. How are you feeling today, apart from, shaping up after having a bit of a drink? Boy, I can use one now.
I'm good. Good. We have some time off to work some stuff out, and it'll be good.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, definitely. Well, that'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, again, I'll probably need some time. Don't
I know.
want to get out at the
That's-
moment.
You can take all the time you need. It's fine.
Yeah. But don't worry, I'll be ready to go on the mission, in a couple of days. So, yeah. Good.
She looks a little out of sorts, like, and she kind of opens and closes her hands a couple times, and she goes, I'm sorry I'm bad at this.
No, it's fine. It's not bad. It's fine.
No. Anyway, what do you want to do this morning? We don't have to go out, but I can... Oh, how long has it been? I can probably grab you breakfast or something. We can just hang out, or...
Yeah, no, it's okay. I probably need a bit of time to myself. I don't need to eat very much anyway, so it's fine. You can get me a drink, that would be great actually, though. But yeah, and then Bertie looks over to he would probably at that point cast his gaze over to where Anya, I think, left some stuff for them. He's like, okay, cool, and he kind of like probably more hastily patters over to there to go and investigate that. I assume the note. Does the note say anything in particular, or is it just like, this is from Anya?
It just has her initial.
Oh yeah, it's fair.
Which from her, it's a justification of, yeah, this is probably a sign to them that this is not someone random trying to poison them.
Yeah. I don't know whether there's more. That's probably from Anya. I don't know whether that's more terrifying or not, but that's fine. It means that I've got food, so that's cool. Yeah, no,
That's
it's
good.
Also, Bertie can't be poisoned.
Oh, true. And he kind of like spins around, and just sort of like laces his fingers together. A little bit more poised, I suppose, than he should be. He's like, you shouldn't feel bad about however you're behaving. That's fine.
No, I just don't want to support you wrong. I guess.
Okay. Well, if I'm making you uncomfortable, you don't need to
No.
Yeah,
No, never.
because I know how difficult it must be for you about SDS, so
That doesn't matter.
no, of course not.
What matters is however you need me. I'm here for you. I'm just sorry that I don't know the right things to say, but I just want you to know that I'm trying to say them. I guess.
But he kind of like he again looks. He does look quite visibly like he's starting to get more visibly uncomfortable. He kind of like ponders for a moment as he's remembering something. He's like, it's fine. The fact that you're that's what you want, I guess. That makes me feel better, I suppose. So that's okay.
What?
Ross, are you here for me at the moment?
Of course I am.
Or are you here for you? I just want to be clear, I guess. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just... Sorry, I really need some time alone at the moment.
No, that... Okay. I'll see you later.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Have a good breakfast.
Uncomfortably. Yeah, no problem.
She leaves very uncomfortably. And as soon as she shuts the door behind her, she just has a moment where she just kind of stands in the hallway. And then just for a moment just kind of looks as if she wants to scream, but it's very internal, and then she just shakes that off and goes to go get breakfast.
Okay. So, just in general, over the course of the day, is there anything in particular that people want to do?
Neumann is making a cloak.
I believe that doesn't take you all that long to do.
Yep. But he would like to put a little bit of effort into it.
Yes. I know your sheet doesn't have you written as having this proficiency, which is my bad in when I put the infiltrator. But I think you can use, you do technically have proficiency in the disguise kit, and I would allow that to transfer over to making a cloak. So
I also have proficiency in any tool I want as well. with
Of
my
course.
feet. So yeah, I just have proficiency in cloak making tools.
Which is, I believe, a weaver's kit or something like that.
Yes. So I will fashion myself a weaver's kit using my feature, and I will do that.
Yes. Yeah, so...
There are two things that Anya wants to do today. And I, Eddie, am contemplating in what order she wants to do them. Darby, can you remind me what the name was of the person who she met on the roof last night?
That was Yadel.
And how do you spell that?
Yeidal.
So, Anya has overnight, while she was thinking after a conversation with Yadel, she has had an idea of something that she wants to attempt to hinder, I guess, the wizards. But after her conversation with Neumann, she is thinking a fair bit about Ross. So I guess me, Eddie, am going to ask you, Zoe, whether you would prefer that Anya bring you along to meet Yadel and then have a conversation with you after, or Anya come talk to you first and then go see Yadel by herself.
100% Ross is going to want to go with you to go see Yadel.
Cool.
But even if you try to have a conversation with her, if you mention vaguely like, oh, I'm going to talk to Yadel after this, Ross will be like, no, we go now.
Yeah,
you can go
cool. No, in that case, Anya, because either way, that was going to happen. So there's a bit of table talk for you guys. Yeah, so Anya, once she has left the room with Neumann, she does, on her way past, sort of, she slows down a little bit at Bertie's door just to hear, just to have a little listen and see if she can hear general movement and whether Ross is still in there. And also if there's anything of note that she would hear.
Bertie's upset.
She nods and like has a sort of solemn look on her face, but continues. And then
Time for you to cry now.
Yeah. And he's like, Bertie, I've been there, babes. And then wanders down the stairs in search of Ross.
Okay. Probably doesn't take you too long to find her. Where would Anya find Ross?
She would be just at any table with fantasy scrambled eggs and
They're just scrambled eggs.
but they're fantasy and they're coffee. And she's just sitting there. It would be very similar to how Ross has been found by the party before, where she's got like her chin in like one hand and she's kind of picking at her food and she just looks so like just vacant, I guess is the word for it. But as soon as she heard any kind of movement from Anya, which is probably literally when Anya's standing right next to her, she would immediately just kind of look, double take, and then just sit straight up. Go, good morning.
So what happens is Anya quietly approaches the table. She steals a fork from another table, a clean one, and she sits down silently at the table and then drags the scrambled eggs towards herself and starts eating them.
I paid for that.
Well, you weren't eating them, so I thought someone might as well.
I
haven't had
thinking of
breakfast.
eating them. Well, that's not my fault. And she like playfully tries to pull the scrambled eggs back, but only pulls them back like halfway so they can both eat the scrambled eggs.
I will say, since you are insistent on them being fantasy scrambled eggs, these are axe-beak eggs, and thus basically the size of like emu or ostrich eggs. So there's only 2 to a serving.
So it's like half an egg.
But yeah, yeah, like it's a full egg, but that is a massive meal.
And that, kids, is how you break your DM. So, yeah, we're eating our fantasy axe-beak scrambled eggs.
Anya's just like, I somehow don't think that it was the eggs that you were thinking about, but I met someone last night. Someone interesting. Their name. What were their pronouns, though?
Yadel is she, her.
Awesome. Her name is Yadel.
You spoke to Yadel?
Oh, the sorts. Yadel sought out me.
Really? What for? Ross, like, is so interested.
Yeah. She wants to offer resources in exchange for our skills and expertise over the time that we are staying here and touching base.
Okay.
I was thinking more on it last night. She is interesting.
I've never met anyone from the New Arcadian branch before, but I've heard of them. They're hearty, strong. Have to be up here.
She was, she made me feel young a little. Not by much, but a little. And that's not something that humans can do often.
No mean feat.
So I think, while I'm not sure whether I trust all of this organization yet, as is wise to do when working with any organization, I think we can trust her to an extent. I guess what I mean to say is I have an idea and I'm going to speak to her. And I wanted to know if you wanted to come with me.
Of course.
I thought that would be what you would say.
This is my stomping ground, technically.
But yes, it's, I suppose as close to home as you've gotten so far, so.
Well, as close to home as home. But here is familiar, and that's good enough.
You know what I mean. We can finish breakfast. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's fine. Who else would steal my eggs?
Right.
Neumann eats enough for an army, so he always gets his own.
I heard that I saw that you stayed with Bertie last night.
I did.
Are you okay?
Peachy keen.
Anya visibly doesn't react to that. In one way or another, she just looks at Ross.
I mean, I feel like shit, but that is neither here nor there. And we have a meeting to get to.
After Yale.
After you.
After we speak with Yale. They finish their breakfast and then they go to Yale.
Yep.
Okay. Greetings, Anya and Ross. I take it you have thought about what we spoke of last night?
I have only had the opportunity to speak to Ross so far. Well, that's incorrect. I've had many opportunities to speak to the rest of my allies, but I just... You understand.
I understand.
They need time.
Yes.
I have had an idea, and I am certain of it. Once everyone is in the fold, they will also have ideas. I think one of the good things about us is that we're all so different. Too different sometimes.
Of course.
I am hoping to put together a whisper of doubt. Last night I was thinking about what is most frustrating and difficult for us when it comes to the wizards, and what hurts us the most when we are trying our best and trying to plan our attacks. And that's misinformation.
Yes.
I want for us to start planting agents of misinformation. Not just in one place, in many. They need to be quiet, stealthy, and blend in. But if we can spread misinformation amongst the masses of what our actions are, of where we plan to hit next, strategized leaks, we can hit them as hard as they hit us yesterday. It will give us an opportunity to have freedom to attack where we want and that confusion.
This is a worthwhile course of action.
It's a good plan.
Okay. Shall we engage in it immediately? Gather resources and send people out to spread word.
I think the sooner the better.
Of course.
I think if we have 3 different loops of misinformation running around different circles, that should scatter to the winds enough that they will not know specifically where we will hit next. Now, Darby, I have no
Yes.
idea mechanically what I'm rolling or what I'm doing.
Yes.
Apologies.
So there are
New systems are hard for me.
yes, there are 2 possible ways that we could apply this directly. There is either the false orders feature that you have as an underworld syndicate. So as a domain action, you can make an espionage test against an opposed domain's communications. On a success at the end of the next deployment, so that's when there is a warfare scenario, you can move one of the opposed domain's tier 1 artillery or infantry units to any space on your side of the field, or it is the other thing that this would be represented by would be decreasing the resolve defense of the Wizards of the Ruins.
I feel like that the second one, the decreasing of the resolve, would probably fit a bit better to Anya's intention.
Yes.
Because it's less so much a strategy for us to get an upper hand as it is for them to be out of the loop.
Yes. So you could also do the same thing, but to their communications as well. To kind of, if your plan is essentially to signal jam to make it more difficult for the wizards to communicate amongst themselves succinctly.
See, that's difficult because I don't think it's necessarily to do with their communication with each other as it is to do with their communication in regards to us. So I think it would probably be resolve more than communication.
So the resolve is about the whole organization down to the lowliest grunt, and like basically how loyal they are, how committed, how engaged they in the day-to-day, how essentially if you take this from normal to, if you succeed and take this from normal to the -1 discontented, basically you can slow down the acts of the wizards.
Yeah, well, from Anya's perspective, the first thing that both her and Neumann did yesterday, once they'd figured out that it was a gap in communication, was be upset with the place where the communication came from. So I think that fits very, very well.
Yeah.
What do I do? What do I roll?
So,
what am I doing?
So this is so you make a domain skill test of the appropriate type. I believe this probably falls under operations, so that is a +4. You also, once per intrigue, you can, if you have proficiency in a relevant skill, you can add your proficiency bonus to a test. So for operations, the relevant skills are where are they? The athletics and insight. So
she has she's proficient in athletics, and she's an expert in insight. So I don't know if that adds anything to it. I
don't know if the rules account for expertise, but I would
9.
You're not
+10.
Yeah, so I would say, because you have an expertise, I would let that expertise count.
Oh god. What does expertise add to proficiency?
So it doubles your proficiency. So you are working with a +16 here.
16?
Against...
that's disgusting.
You're working with +16. Because this isn't your skill, you don't get reliable talent to it.
That's fine.
But, you get... so you are rolling against their resolve.
What's a 17 plus 16, Dummy? That's gross.
33.
That's a 33, right?
Yeah. So their resolve is at a -1. And, that is your first domain action as a party, and that is today's domain action. Now, the wizards get to make a domain action of their own.
We get to know what
a little bit ill.
Yes, you do. You do get to know what it is. So, I need to so they are going to this stage. they're just going to oh, they have something that is a bonus action as well. So they are going to use a bonus action and an action.
Bastards.
Why don't we get one of those? Because they're bigger than us. I get it.
No, because of the type of domain they are. Because as a mystic circle, they have the unravel sorcery domain bonus action.
Boo.
Which allows them to so once per intrigue as a domain bonus action, they can make a lore test against your communications to learn about the magical abilities of one of your officers, so one of the 5 party members. On a success, they learn...
Sam, because that's funny.
On a success...
It's funny, he worked for them.
On a success, they know what spells you know and have prepared, and have advantage, and they have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects used by that officer until the end of the intrigue. So, they are... Doesn't matter who it is, I still roll a lore. They're not going to use a proficiency on this yet. It's not that big a deal at this point. So they are rolling at a +4 against your...
And they need to beat a...
17, your communications defense.
Okay. Come on, baby.
And that is a 22.
Yikes.
So they know...
Who they getting?
I'm going to roll a d6. 1 is Bertie, 2 is Anya, 3 is Neumann, 4 is Ross, 5 is Sam, 6 I re-roll. 2. So they know every spell that Anya has access to, as well as her and they have advantage on any saving throws against spells and other magical effects used by her.
Anya been
That's alright.
bragging about their spells.
They'll think that she's a really powerful sorcerer, and then they'll realize that sometimes she makes constitution saves as to whether or not the spell will actually work in the first place. So that one's on them. That's bad strat.
Hey, the dice fell where they may. And for their action, I am going to have them... They're gonna try to undermine your communications with some espionage. So again, this is a +4 against your communications. That is a natural 1 for a total of 5.
Get fucked!
Does that mean all they
Can't
learned was the
outspy the spy.
misinformation?
No, it doesn't quite work like that. But so that was them trying to, you know what? So the flavor of that is that they tried. Some really obvious sketchy guy came into the tavern and was immediately slain by members of the...
Oh, they do not mess around.
Actually, immediately captured because he could be useful.
I was gonna say, like, some sketchy guy walks in, everyone in the bar votes, and they die. Like,
yeah. But yes, you have a basically a grunt that you can question, I guess, if you want. They're not going to know much.
They're gonna see Sam walking around and be like, hang on. Wait a minute.
Wait a goddamn second.
I know that one.
All right. So that's today's domain actions.
Ooh. Nice. Sexy.
You can now.
And the cogs are in motion.
They are.
I think,
Neumann was oblivious to all of this. He was just making a cloak all day.
Yeah.
I think it's time you and I had a drink and a chat. Yes?
I could absolutely use a drink. Yes. Let's do it.
I have a spot. Up on the roof. Bring the wine?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll see
Ross
you in a
will
bit.
get one. Ross does a little salute and then gets wine, goes to she'll get a nice wine from this fake front of a bar. So
Okay.
that's
I don't know what time it theoretically is after we've been doing espionage for most of the day. Can I assume at this point it's evening?
Yeah.
Cool. Anya sneaks into the kitchen. She gets she's gonna steal like a basket, and she's gonna grab a whole bunch of breads, cheeses, and pastries. And then she is going to so she's going to grab a whole bunch of them, like an excessive amount, and then slink out of the kitchen. I can roll a stealth if you want, or a thief stealing, whatever the stealing one is. Sleight of hand.
sleight of hand.
Don't bother. I rolled a natural 6 on a perception check.
I was going to
for
say her
whoever's-
minimum for either of them are 27.
Yeah.
So, and she then is going to hoist herself up onto the roof. I'm assuming Ross would already be there if she's made a little pit stop.
Yeah, Ross would have paused in like the hallway and just looked at Bertie's room and just quietly been like, fuck. She would have gone to talk to him and then just sighed and then gone up to the roof.
So Anya, she pulls herself up onto the roof, and she nods at Ross, and makes a sort of wait there motion. And then she wanders over to the part of the roof that's above Bertie's bedroom. And she kind of, in a little bit of an acrobatic feat, sort of swings herself down and through the window, she's going to try and open it. What am I rolling? Because this is definitely a rolling feat.
It sounds like acrobatics.
Cool. She's got proficiency in that, which helps a lot. She is also trying to do it stealthily, so I can roll a stealth too if you want. Cool. So the lower of that one was a 22. She's good at acrobatics. And I'll do the stealth, which is a 27. And she is just going to sort of swing the basket into Bertie's bedroom onto like a table or something, and then close the window. And then sort of pivot herself back up.
I love that.
Sorry, when Bryn died, I didn't eat for like a week. I might be projecting, but I just want to make sure that Bertie is taking care of himself.
That's really good of you, Anya. I'm sure you could knock, but he'd appreciate it. And to be fair, and she just sits down on the roof. Who amongst us isn't projecting onto Bertie at this point, so.
Anya, she just sits down very quietly. And she crosses her legs and sort of sits parallel to Ross. And she's like, Rovari. Let's open this wine.
Absolutely.
And she pops the cork on it. I'm assuming it's corked. And takes a swig from the bottle and then passes it over to Ross.
Ross takes a very long swig from the bottle. And then she kind of pulls her knees up and she has her elbows draped on her knees with her hands just kind of dangling as she puts the wine bottle back on the ground. I have to talk about it, don't I?
It's part of why I'm here. I mean, really, you are autonomous. You don't have to talk about anything if you don't want to. But I think you know you need to.
Knowing I need to doesn't make it good.
Depends at what point you want to start.
Okay. She picks up the bowl, she takes another swig, she puts it down. And she kind of looks up at the sky, and she knits her fingers together where they're resting on her knees. There's this theory in tragedy, theatrical tragedy, about how audiences view it. What makes it tragic? What makes watching a tragic thing tragic versus just watching someone go through shit for no reason, because there's a difference. And one of the things people talk about is this idea that tragedy is tragedy because when you are in it, it is unavoidable, and from the outside, there is always an easy solution. So, for instance, Anya, you're maybe a bad person to use in this example, but let's say you're carrying a basket of cheeses, and you're going to swing off the roof and put them through Bertie's window, right?
Right.
Now, let's say you hadn't physically just done that. You were imagining it, or I were imagining I was doing that. I can imagine all the ways I would do that, and let's say, in this example, we were to say, you swing to put the basket of cheeses in Bertie's room, and you slip. And you think, when you're imagining going through that situation, of all the ways you would catch yourself, prevent any kind of injury, land on the awning below or on the street, or catch yourself on the windowsill and cartwheel in without even getting dust on the cheese. You think of all the ways you can do this properly and well, and no one gets hurt, least of all you. And then you do it. And you can't guarantee any of that is actually going to happen. You could fall, you could die, you could spill the cheese everywhere, and one of them could hit Bertie in the face and he'd get really upset about it. You know, and you can apply that to anything. A man makes a flesh golem, teaches it to tap dance, and the townspeople chase it with pitchforks, and you watch this and you say, I would have just spoken to it. It would have been fine. You watch a young man try to reconcile the death of his father as he takes an oath of vengeance to kill his uncle who did it, and you think, I would have waited. I would have killed him earlier. I wouldn't have waited until he wasn't praying. You think of all the ways you would do it better, but a part of your brain knows. These characters aren't making those decisions because a better option exists. There's no way you swing through that window. You know, deep in you, the only difference between you and the person living through that tragedy is a matter of context and the flimsy ideal of reality that you can think it through better. There is a thin line between you and them, and you want to believe that you are firmly on one side and they are on the other. And I thought, after last year, after, frankly, having far too much of an emotional response to certain situations, that I knew what to do. I thought I could talk to the golem, avenge my uncle, swing through the window. I can't. I'm falling. I haven't landed yet, but I'm falling. And I feel like a hypocrite. And I feel like a shitty friend. And I feel like I should be better. I should be doing better, but I'm still falling. You know, so. That's...
Anya, she reaches for the bottle. She takes a long swig. And then she kind of shrugs a little bit, and she's like, Bertie, what happens when you hit the bottom?
I don't know. I'm trying not to. I'm bracing for a landing that may not even happen.
There are a few things in life I know to be constant. People will always make bad choices. Intent or no. Not everyone, but just people as a whole. And we can't stop that. It will happen. Neumann will never stop talking. Ever. That just won't happen. And that in spite of all things magical or otherwise, we all eventually land. What happens when you fall is that you land. And you can think about how you are falling, or why you are falling, or the ways you could have done things better, or the ways you could have done things worse, or the ways someone else in your situation would have done it better, or worse, or wrong, or right. But regardless, you are falling. You will land. And maybe when you land, you will just be winded for a moment and then stand back up and try again. Or maybe you will break your ankle and not be able to walk. Maybe you will break your spine. Maybe you will land on a branch and get gouged out and be bleeding everywhere. maybe you will just die peacefully. Maybe there will be someone at the bottom to catch you. But regardless, you will land. I don't want you to make the mistake of thinking that I am trying to make this about me with what I say next. I think it can be difficult with the way I communicate sometimes that I will explain a situation that I feel is familiar and that can sometimes be a misstep because I don't realize that's making it about me. So I want you to know when I'm saying this, it's not a reflection of that. Last year, I was the person who fell off the roof. I was falling and I was scrambling and I spent too long thinking of all the ways that I could try and stop myself from falling or try and fix the fact that I had fell than thinking about the ground that was rapidly coming up to catch me. And I fell. I fell hard. I fell to a point where I did not know if things would ever really be okay between you and I, between Caius and I, by the gods, even between Bertie, Neumann, Rook, and I. Because it felt like I was scrambling for that rooftop. The roof is gone. We've slipped. I don't think that any of us could have prevented falling off this roof. Ravari, you are one of the bravest people I know. You are fighting for something so much bigger than yourself, and you know that. No one it may feel like everyone right now is watching or judging, or that we are at a point where we are the tragedy that is being watched, where any action we make is being judged or is going to lead to someone saying, oh, I could have done that better, or I could have done that different, or why didn't they just do this or that? But really, no one is watching. This isn't the theater. This isn't some performance. When you think that maybe we are on this stage where we have to show the world our actions. Bryn and I, once, just before the war started, we had been part of an adventuring party, and in this party we had banded together to fight off a archmage who had taking control of a part of a small town, just on the outskirts of I can't remember the.
Halloran.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you. Just on the outskirts of Halloran, and there was pressure there, where it felt like every action that was happening was the be-all and end-all of this town. We felt like the entire town had everything resting on it. And after we defeated this Archmage, we were exhausted and stopped. We found a little cabin that was not too far out of Halloran. And there was an old gnomish couple that lived there. And they opened the door and they looked at us and they were like, "Hey, fuck off." And Bryn, at the time, she was a bit taken aback by that. She was like, "We have just been fighting for many hours. We just need somewhere to rest. Can we at least camp near your lands? We just need to rest." And they turned to her and they said, "Lady, I don't know who the fuck you are, but get out of our property." In spite of the fact that we had just saved their entire town from something so dangerous and so full of ruin, they didn't know who we are. They didn't know what we had done, and more importantly, they didn't care. We might all be doing this for the greater good, in one way or another, to save the kingdoms, to save the continents, to save everyday people. But you should also be doing it for yourself, Rupa. And really, that should be the only person who it's important if they are watching. Not the common folk, not me, not Neumann or Bertie, certainly not Sam. Although I do understand there.
Thank you. But it's against all instinct. I haven't really cared about what the outside world thinks. We'll save Karas. Hell or high water, we'll save it. I will. Neumann will. If we die trying, we die trying. It's... I just don't have it in me to only care about me. Or to only care what I think.
I'm not asking you to only care about you.
No, but...
I'm just asking you to put yourself first for a change.
Now you've been spending too much time with Neumann.
Well, sometimes... Oh, I didn't talk to him about his goddamn joke.
He loves that joke.
Sometimes he's right about things.
He's often right about things. More often than some people care to admit. But it's... I don't know, Anya. Everything about this mission has me on the back foot. Even down to the fact Sam's here. He's not meant to. Again, I know I can't keep saying what should be and what shouldn't be because the universe has just grabbed us all by the throat and decreed what is, but what I can change is how I'm dealing with things now, and I can't help but feel like I'm not.
I don't think you can change how you're dealing with things, Ravari. I don't think any of us can. Do you think I would have... It's not about how we deal with things.
But I've spent so long getting to the place I am with Bertie as a friend, and I don't know how to talk to him. I don't know what to say, and it's not like I look at him and see me. I don't see me. That's the problem. I want to be there for him the way I needed someone there for me, but he doesn't need that. But I don't know what else to give. All this time being whatever people wanted me to be, I can't be it for someone I actually care about. I can't. Fuck. Oh, God. I didn't want to cry.
Anya passes the bottle over to Ross.
Thank you.
And she's like, here's the funny thing about Bertie. I am not a very easy person to get along with.
You'll forgive me for laughing.
You are forgiven. You can laugh as much as many. When Bertie and I first met, did a lot of projecting of my own. Of danger that I knew that I was part of in the same ways that he was. Of choices that I knew I had already made, that I was fearing that he was making. And Bertie, despite how we began, when I did the thing that was truly terrifying and trusted that he would still be there for me when I stopped. When I stopped trying, he was there. Durvari, he cares so much about you. But I'm going to give you a bit of hard advice that you're not going to like at all, because you know that that is who I am. And in spite of that, you are also still here and someone who I am delighted to call a close friend. You need to let him process this for him. This isn't about your friendship with Bertie, or what you can do best for him, or the ways that you can best support him. It's about him. I made that mistake over a year ago when a close friend of mine got brought back to life. So, trust me when I say I'm speaking from experience.
I know.
Ask him what he needs, and he will tell you. And if that's space, sometimes that just means space.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. God, you know I hate it when you're right.
Most people do. It's quite odd. It's almost like when I'm right, the most cynical option is the option in front of us. It's bizarre, that.
I know. You're right so often, though.
I wish I wasn't.
I just... I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll... I don't know. He did ask for space. I'm not going to be a bitch about it.
Ravari. We're very different, you and I, in a lot of ways. And I don't want you to overthink this. But at the moment, you're being a little bit too much like me. And that isn't always a bad thing, but it shouldn't be a burden for someone so young to bear. So just... I am here, and I will listen. And you know that I am not ever in a state where I can judge and be correct. So,
Yeah.
if you need it,
You know what, Anya? I'm absolutely going to take you up on that. Then she takes a massive swig of the wine. And we can cut away for now and come back to this
Okay.
later.
And in that case, that's where we're going to leave it for this week's episode.
Hey.
All right. So thank you for listening, everybody.
sorry for listening,
See you
guys.
next week.
Sorry
for
for
See you next time.
listening.
Bye.
Take care of your friends. Again, just so tasty and nice and interesting to see Anya just be like very compassionate to, not that she's not compassionate,
weird.
but to both Ross and Neumann was just very tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
her just basically sitting Ross and Neumann down and being like, both of you, too much like me. Stop
Please
it.
don't think like me. Thanks.
This is enough.
This
Chill
is enough.
down.
No.
I am the one of the party that is like this.
Both of them just like, what are you saying? We're fine. It's cool.
Yeah. You,
Although
you got
Ross
to
admits
Neumann
she's
to
not
like,
okay. So. Newman's fine.
yeah, Newman's just like, I just want to eat breakfast.
Yeah, I'm fine.